to another Golden Hour Drip episode. Happy Wednesday. I love doing these short little 5 to 15 minute videos. They're so much fun. And honestly, like today, I completely deep cleaned the house. And it has just been, I know I keep talking about it, but it's been so freaking muddy outside that the dogs keep tracking it in. And I feel like it's on the walls, it's underneath the couches, it's on the couches, it's on the floor, it's everywhere. And so I stripped every single piece of fabric in the house, whether that is on the couch or on the bed, and I deep cleaned, soaked it all. And then I mopped the floors and I just buffed everything. And I was like, oh my gosh, I need to record an episode. And I just got done like cooking supper and I was like, holy smokes. And instead of feeling like such overwhelm, I was like, oh, this is awesome. Like, it's just my 15-minute one. Like, it's not a whole hour. I already have all of my different ideas. Oh my gosh, my different ideas. Oh my goodness, it's been a long day. But I have all of my ideas. I'm not going to be able to say that word right now. I don't know why. But I like to schedule out the entire like month, either the 30th, 31st, 1st of the month. And I just get all of those topics written out. And it provides a sense of like, okay, we have a schedule. We know exactly what we're talking about. And it's not going to be that hard because these are things that I love. And I just look at my calendar and I think, okay, this is what we're talking about. I also, I've started doing this with my daily quote of the day, my sip and speak or whatever, where I write out my quotes and I have them already. And so when I just open up my planner and that's the day and that's the quote I picked, and so then I have to say something about it, right? And I've just been practicing this and practicing my speech so that I can be, more adaptable and able to talk on any topic. So that's just a pat on the back for me to overall lower my cortisol levels, my stress levels, and just have things go a little smoother, honestly. So if you guys follow the Instagram at Golden Hour Drip, I did post something about asking what content you guys want to see. And I'd really appreciate it if you would drop a little emojicon, or if you haven't followed me, give it a follow. But the 4 different topics that I have, okay. So the first one is the plant emoji, and that's health and wellness. If you want to hear more about health and wellness and maybe my overall journey throughout battling my anxiety and alleviating that essentially, and maybe just eating habits or how to grow your own food or anything like that, drop that down. The next one is the brain emoji, and this is mindset and personal development. Personally, this is my favorite one because I love just being able to change and transform and become the person you want to be. So drop the brain. No, honestly, if you are into that, great, go ahead and drop it. The next one is the girl emoji, and this is advice columns or funny submissions and reactions. I think these are super fun. And then the last one, it's a heart, and it's all of the above. I'm open to suggestions. I love just planning out my entire month. June, it's coming up. We're about halfway through May, and I'd like to get some of those topics just figured out so I'm not stressed, because I have some things coming up that I'm oh my gosh, family vacations and work, and just looking at it all, and I'm I need to make sure that this time I'm not overwhelming myself. This time I'm not stressing out. This time I am going to be able to juggle it properly, right? So tell me what you think. Go on Golden Hour Drip and just drop a little emoji, whatever. Okay, so speaking of the different topics, today is going to be a favorites. Now, this is not your typical favorite episode, okay? I know people do it on YouTube, I know people do it as podcast episodes, but this is not going to be products necessarily. This is not going to be like my favorite pillow, or a couple of episodes ago I did my favorite drinks because I'm a drink girl. That's kind of like why I started doing sips and speaks in the morning, where I'm like drinking my like drink that I made, and then I get to talk to you guys and do a little quote. I don't know, I really like drinks, but that's off topic. This is not going to be like favorites as in products. These are going to be like my favorite things in the world. And sit on it yourself and think about like, what are your favorite things in the world? What makes you happy? Like absolutely uncontrollably happy, where you just, when you do that, or when you see it, or when it just falls into place perfectly, like what are those things to you? How can you like, I'm all about, like we talked about during January, you know, our resolutions for the year and what we wanted to work on. And I think to myself, oh my gosh, we're almost to June. And my like word of the year was create, right? And I love create. I've done a lot of creating and brainstorming with, you know, the podcast, an extension of the podcast, which is Golden Hour Drip Co. And I have a clothing store, and then I'm also doing like sips and speaks, and there's so many things. Also the journal prompts, you know, I've created a lot of new endeavors that I didn't have. So sorry if you can see that hear that motorcycle. Is so noisy right now, but I feel like I've really sat in the creativity, and I've done a lot of, you know, creating, which I love. But I also thought to myself, this is not enough. Like, of course I want to create, but I want to add a second word. And my second word is celebration. And with celebration, having fun and really just like setting in like my life right now and thinking, oh my gosh, like I'm so grateful for so many different things that have been happening, and just really living my life. Today while I was vacuuming the house and mopping and cleaning, I like to have the TV on, and I was watching Tangled. I just got Disney Plus. I love Disney, and honestly, like I've been crying a lot lately, and I think it's because of Disney. All of these different little shows. I'm like, oh, this is so emotional. This is so like heartwarming, right? And I get choked up sometimes, but I like was watching Tangled, and in the beginning she's like says, when will my life begin? And she goes on to say, like, she cooks and cleans and she does all these things, but she's not actually living. And it got me thinking. I was like, what is living? You know, like what is like having a happy, awesome life? And then like bouncing off of that, I follow Jordan Lee Dooley, and she was talking about like, you don't have to like be a CEO 1 million. You don't have to be breaking ceilings to be successful. Like you can find success in the little things. If you're working hard, if you're putting forth effort, if you're doing all these awesome things that fill you up, then that is success. And it had me thinking about like overall this past year and everything that has happened. And we're all waiting for life to begin again, for us to like go out and have a good time swimming, floating, whatever, like going to restaurants. And like when we dial it back and we think, you know, we can find the celebration and the fun and the little things, you know, like just little favorite things. And so I wanted to make a list. I have 10 favorite things. Now, of course, there's lots of other things that I love and relish and just have so much fun with, but these are some of the best favorite things to me in the world. Maybe you agree with some of them. Maybe you like also think that's pretty cool, or maybe it's something you've never thought about and you're like, oh man, yeah, that is super satisfying. So these are my favorites. Number 1. The coolness of the morning when it first starts to lighten. I kind of am a morning person, kind of am not. I love my sleep. I want to make sure that I'm getting all of my hours of sleep. I'm one of the people who I need sleep, right? Like I need to get it or I'm not functioning. But there's something to be said when the morning and like the entire world is kind of quiet and there's a bit of chill in the air right before it gets super hot or right before the sun like peaks over. I love, love, love the coolness of a morning. So refreshing, just puts you into perspective, especially if you're trying to be mindful and do like yoga or deep breathing or just get you in the mindset for the day. My second favorite thing is when you use up the last of the toilet paper. Now, this is like when you go to a public place, like using public restroom. I'm not sure how you feel about using a public restroom, but I love it when you use the last bit of toilet paper and you're able to like slide the little lever over for the new roll. I love that feeling. It's so much fun. You're just like push it over. I don't know why, but I absolutely love it. And when it does happen to me, it's like the best feeling ever. It's the best day. I'm like awesome. The next one is coming home to a clean, fresh house where I can just flop and relax. I also find that I do my best creative thinking and like just doing when my house is clean. So today I cleaned my house. So tomorrow I know I'm gonna have a super productive, amazing, awesome day because my house is clean. I don't have to worry about anything. I can just sit down and get focused. Okay, my next favorite is a fresh notebook and planner. There's nothing more than I love to crack open a fresh new notebook and look through it and think, oh my gosh, like the possibilities are endless. Now, I got this notebook that I'm using right now a couple weeks ago, and this is how much I've written in it. And I also think it's super satisfying to see like written pages, like front to back, just awesomeness. So that's also like very soothing and one of my favorite things, but I also like it crisp, clean, like that first marking in the paper. I absolutely love that. Okay, the next one. When babies or dogs choose me, there's nothing greater than when a toddler, like maybe your niece, your nephew, or just a kid, you know, comes up and like chooses you and wants to like hold on you or falls asleep on you, or when a dog, you know, you call them, like they come to you, or they always want to snuggle with you. This makes Garrett so mad, but the dogs, they love to cuddle with me. And so he'll be like calling them, and they'll like come sit with me, right? So I love, love, love when babies and dogs choose me. The next one, when one of my plants grow or propagate. I love my plants and I like it to see like from a seed to a full-size plant, and I like it when I take a cutting and then that cutting is successful and it starts to grow. I love the little bud coming up into like a full-fledged plant. That's one of my favorite things. I love seeing things grow. I did some carrot cuttings and I did some lettuce cuttings, and to see them like actually propagate and grow is awesome. And I'm gonna be able to like eat my regrowth that I literally got from the grocery store. So I think that's super cool. The next one, number 7, the ache, oh my gosh, the ache or like soreness after a really good workout, like the next day. I love that feeling. I think it's so good, and sometimes I feel like I almost didn't get a super amazing workout in if my body doesn't ache the next morning, which I know isn't super good, but it's one of my favorite things. The next one, number 8, is new books and finishing them. I like getting a new book and like cracking it open, and it's even better when there's like a sequel and I'm able to like pinpoint all of like the characters. And then number 9, I love to catch a sneeze in a tissue. I sneeze horrendously. Okay, like fluid is coming out is ridiculous. When I'm able to like run and get a tissue and like sneeze in the tissue, that's the best feeling ever, like absolutely ever. And it also helps because I didn't make a mess everywhere else, right? Like it makes me happy. And for my very last one, this is kind of a duo kind of thing. I love hot showers after a rain. So like when it's super chilly rain outside, if I had to work cows, if I had to do anything and I get caught up in the rain and I'm all chilled to the bone, I love coming in to a hot shower and like warming up my body, like tingly, you know, like I love that feeling. And it's even better when I get to put on sweatpants and thick socks and like a warm, snuggly sweatshirt that's oversized. And then like either laying on the couch or getting into my blanket. And if I get under my blanket, sometimes I like to, lotion my legs and them to be clean sheets. So I don't know. Those are just some of my favorite things. But the real meaning, the reason for this podcast episode, it's not just to list out the things that I think are cool or awesome or one of my favorite things. It's really for you to think about some of your favorite things and start really appreciating those things and being grateful for those things. Because when we're happy about the little things, that's what makes life more fun. And that's what celebration is all about. And celebrating okay, I might have not wanted to work outside and dig up my garden or do something that was really hard and annoying, but I'm gonna be able to hop in the shower, and that is gonna be so much cooler. I don't know, it just makes things a little more enjoyable. So find those ways that you can celebrate the little things in life, have a little bit of fun this summer, and be sure to go and comment your emoji on Golden Hour Drip. So until next time, bye!